what you want, then baby try to believe me when I say that you can tell me anything. I can see it in your eyes that you're shaking, cause you're holding it back. Maybe you'll make up your mind, now I'm here by your side. So let it all out of me. Let it all out of me. Oh, I will hold you in the dark, make you forget about what's wrong. Let it all out of me. I can see it in your eyes that you're shaking, cause you're holding it back. Maybe you'll make up your mind, now I'm here by your side. Let it all out of me. Let it all out of me. Oh, I will hold you in the dark, make you forget about what's wrong. Let it all out of me. I feel like I've been here before, familiar with the view. This ain't nothing new. And every time that you walk through the door, I'm hit by the same old side, blinded by the lights. And I'm going through changes, but it's easier with you. I'm going through changes, and so are you. I live for the moments when you're around me. I know you've got secrets, but I can't keep
I've never felt like this. What are you doing to me? It only took one kiss to know that you're everything I need. Everything I need.
And now with great fanfare,
Get ready to meet someone special. Check it out. Motivation and inspiration. Just as good as pineapple on pizza.
Congratulations.
You scream. We scream. We all scream for...
it's the Vaping Heat on Mixin' and Chillin' with Hunky Vape. Hello, and welcome everybody. Another fantastic day for Mixin' and Chillin' with Hunky Vape and Kenny the Vaping Heat.
Hello.
It has been bloody cold here.
It's wet where we are.
It was just barely above freezing last couple nights, and the rest of this week is forecasted to be the same. They have frost warnings out.
We've been getting record temperatures for warmth. I mean, November, we should be getting something like 5-6 degrees during the day. Well, I think it was a place in Wales had 21.2 in November. Never been known. Even Scotland.
Unbelievable.
But we're just getting a massive band of rain at the moment. It's just constantly rained all day today, so it's been one of them dull, horrible days. Absolutely awful.
Yeah, I see you got light rain going on. It's 10 out.
Whoa, what?
It's only 4 over here. Moved up from a whopping 1 this morning.
Wow. I suppose I could say.
Yeah, literally.
You'd be getting the clear skies on a night, man. That's what make it chilly.
Mm-hmm.
I still.
Well, let's say hello to everybody that came in today. Got the printer working again, and like I told Kenny, I didn't do anything to change it. All of a sudden, I just decided it was going to work today. Sean Lynch, hello and welcome. Lance Ward, hello and welcome. Mrs. Hunky Vape, I love you so much. Thank you. Pam Spraggins, hello and welcome. Kenny the Vaping Heat is here.
Who's he?
We're all here to have a fantastic day.
Hi, Sean.
I was just talking with Kenny. I asked him if he got his package from Flavrz yet. He says, no, Customs is still messing around with it or doing whatever they got to do. However, I do have plenty of vape mail for us today. Some of it I ordered.
Sorry,
some of it was sent to me.
At least somebody's.
And some of it I purposely bought for today's episode to help teach you guys some of the fundamental stuff about DIY and dye. Well, that's what we're going to end up being forced into. Wayne was right. His title is 100% accurate. Although I'm not sure his liquid that we mixed up is quite true to flavor. I didn't put a label on it. And this morning I pulled it off the shelf and I'm like, okay, well, let me taste this thing and see what it is. If I can taste it, I should be able to identify which recipe it is, right? So I put it in here and I'm like, okay, well, I switched the mods that it was on, but I get some strawberry.
Yeah.
And my original smell from it is a custard, but it's got a creamy taste to it, kind of shallow. If I had to guess what it is, I'd say it's a strawberry milk. Not a very good one, but it's a strawberry milk.
Wow.
So that inspired me to create a recipe for today's show. The camera is going to focus.
That looks cool.
Strawberry, vanilla bean cream.
He's been doing a little bit behind the scenes, huh?
And I didn't put any cooling in it, so I can't call it an ice cream. So we're going to taste that today. But because of all the custards and creams that are in this, I mixed this up 4 days ago. So we should start being able to taste those creams coming out in this.
Sounds good.
And another recipe that we mixed up last week that should be ready for us to try out is the unicorn milk that we made.
Ah, yeah.
So we've got that to try out and test. And for today's retro build, you guys are going to choose between the Smock TF RDTA and the Geek Vape Creed RDTA. So think about what you want to do. I'll create a little poll here in a little short bit, and you guys will get to vote on it. Which one do we open up and build for today's retro build?
Lance Ward is asking what we're vaping on the day. Well, as you may know, Alex will have loads he's vaping on the day because he makes his own stuff.
You will too soon.
I'm still on my little Xlim, you know, I'm still loving that. I'm still using me yellow mess from Buddha Vapes. I love that stuff. But I've also got a retro vape today, and I don't know whether to reveal it now or not. What do you reckon?
Share, let them see what we're going to see. You don't have to give them the full presentation. Just give them a little peek of it and make them guess. Ooh. I love the fancy design on there. But I have no clue what it is.
It goes on that side as well.
Nice.
If you want to see the front, it may give you a clue. You see it's
Ooh, lights.
at the bottom. Set your power.
Is that a PWM?
Yep.
Hmm.
There you go. There's a little teaser. There's probably some people.
Yeah. See, you've got all kinds of older stuff that I have no clue even existed, let alone have in my
I
possession.
think once I tell you what they are, you will have heard of them. They're two very popular brands in the day. Very popular.
Well, so I still have my little Xlim that I used to carry around and go out with, and that's filled with pod candy, a blue raspberry ice. I've gotten to the point now where I don't even notice the ice in this anymore. I just noticed a delicious blue raspberry candy. Fantastic flavor to it. And as expected, I'm still using that one shot the Flavrz sent over that I mixed up last week, my cotton candy.
I was just about
Like, I like this so much, I didn't even put any nick in it.
really.
Yeah, it just sits here without any nick in it. And, you know, when I'm amongst doing all these other things and whatever, I'll pick it up and use it and not even think twice about it.
Wow.
I caught myself the other day just vaping on this. No nick whatsoever.
That's really weird. It must be good if you don't put any of the magic sauce in. Like, must be good.
Yeah. Fantastic flavor. True profile.
Can't
There's
like I
menthol
said,
in it.
I hope these customs sort themselves out or wherever it is, because I can't wait to try this stuff. You know what I mean? Itching to go.
Did you hear what I said?
Well,
There's menthol in it. I was a menthol smoker for probably half of the time I spent smoking.
menthol cigarettes, disgusting. We used to call them a polo mint.
There's no tobacco flavor to it.
Oh,
It just got that other type of cooling sensation. You know, you can sit there and put the WS-23 in it to give it that icy kind of mouth feel. The actual menthol provides it's more of like a spearminty cooling sensation.
I don't mind a little, but like I say, when you mix it yourself, you've
There isn't much in there.
got more control. But obviously, you know, the manufacturers ones, they just put too much in for me, and they're no good. Absolutely awful. In fact, to be honest, if a vape a manufactured menthol, it actually gives us heartburn. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
The menthol's that's
Yeah, I've had plenty of juices that have done that for myself as well.
mainly the menthol and the coolants. You know, if there's too much in, I get awful heartburn off them. Absolutely crippling. So I kind of stay away. But like I say, if you mix it yourself, you've got more control over it. So, you know, I don't mind a little bit. You know, I'm not saying I totally don't like it, but I'm just going off like the manufacturer stuff. It's like, oh, too much, over the top, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I totally get it. And then the other one that I've been using this past week is chewing gum. And because the temperature has dropped outside, man, have I noticed how much thicker this is and how hard it is now that it's down to the bottom of the bottle to try and refill my tank. I mean, I do it 2 or 3 times a day, but it's getting to the point where it's like, do I make another one of these, another bottle of this, and then just kind of top this off? Because the air compresses so much in here, and with it being cold.
How when it's cold, it turns into max VG.
Or I could just make it a thinner version next time. Instead of, an 80-20, make it a 70-30.
Be good, man.
Or even a 60-40.
No, Sean, it's not a mechanical mod. It is not a mechanical mod. No. It is regulated.
Fantastic.
There you go.
So those have been my primaries, and then obviously I got a couple other ones that I've been testing and stuff that I'm not going to pull up on camera, but they have different kind of liquids and stuff in it. But
Be doing a bit of experimenting in the lab then, eh?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, he's been in the lab.
I got inspired. Okay, I went and watched DIY or Die Wayne's, one of his first videos that I think it might have even been his first video of his own recipe that he created.
Wow.
And that's what inspired this strawberry Nilla bean recipe that we got here. Let's hop over and take a look at it.
I mean, we've got a mixing show over here. It's with Benny Vapes. He's into his mixing. What night's he on? Is he a Sunday night? I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's got a mixing show. And I think there's a US guy comes on as well. There's William or something from Texas. I think he's from Texas. He's on regular. Oh, what the hell they call him again? I know Bill something they call him. He's on regular. There's another American guy on with him. There's Benny. And there's Net Reality. Net Reality's a UK mixer as well. So, they've got a little show running every week. For anybody in the UK that's interested in that kind of stuff.
Ian Thomas, Brony Saint, hello and welcome to the show. Thank you for coming by.
Hello all.
Fantastic. So this is the recipe. It's not my creation, it's his creation. And you can go check out his video. I'm going to have to put the link in the description here. Because this is what inspired me to make this recipe. I'm like, okay. And I sat there and I listened to him. And I'm going to put the link in the description because if any of you guys are getting into DIY and like Dusty Country Road, when you watch this on the replay, this is a good video for you to watch because he literally explains how each of the flavoring choices that he made adds to a layering inside of this recipe. Now, this recipe is like 7 years old. So that's the main reason why you're looking at it going 20% flavoring. That seems like an awful lot of flavoring. But you also have to take into consideration the fact that the creams that they had back then weren't as true to form as the ones are nowadays. And like this Inaware biscuit, I know from firsthand, I put that in a couple different recipes. You're not going to taste that initially. That's something that will come out in your recipe after a week and a half sometimes.
See,
and he even talks about how some of these recipes take a while to develop.
There's what researcher Ian Thomas again on the information trail. He said Benny Vapes is on a Wednesday evening. Tim is an advocate for liberty as one of the guys, and Bill the chair is the other guy. They're the two American guys that are on. So there you go.
Oh, cool.
Ian, man, he's great. You ask a question, Ian will answer it.
That's fantastic. We're here as a big community. That's the whole purpose of this, is for us to be able to share ideas and recipes. And if you see me doing something wrong, please call me out. I'm not an expert at this, but I have learned enough to try and inspire other people to get into this, especially with all the flavor bands that are coming.
Occasionally. We know you. I mean, it's but what you come out with or another mixer comes out with is not gospel. It's what you enjoy and what they enjoy. It's subjective. To everybody. You don't have to do what you see or I see. It's subjective.
Yeah. Even with reviewers, I mean, just because I don't like something doesn't mean that somebody else might not like it.
Definitely.
Bogan's Blotto is a perfect example of it. I'm like, I looked at this and objectively looking at the device, I'm like, it's a good device. If you like a restricted airflow, like I'm sure Mike Vapes would have loved the Blotto because Mike Vapes likes a lot of things more restricted as well.
Yeah.
But I prefer to to enjoy things wide open. I hardly ever close the airflow down unless there's a whistling problem I'm trying to fix or, a lack of flavor that is, finally achieved when you close the airflow halfway or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
generally speaking,
I must admit I'm more inclined to a bit more restriction now. Like I do enjoy. I mean, this device here has got 3 airflow ports. There's 3 ports, and I've got to turn down halfway, and that's more than enough for me.
Well, I already wicked up, so you guys didn't have to watch me throw cotton into a coil.
Hey.
I already wicked up a little drop. We're going to try out this strawberry Nilla bean cream with 20% flavoring.
Oh, yeah, I tell you what, he's well organized this week, and he's got pre-wick coils and pre-builds done. He's pre-made juices. What's going on here? Like, I'm not having this.
Listen, I even got a Global 20 news report done.
Oh my God.
It's literally over an hour long. Hour and 20 minutes or something like this.
Really? Wow, he's well organized now.
Because it's been a month since I've put one together. And with the flavor ban going in California and the heated tobacco ban in Europe, there's more than enough news to talk about.
Wow, it's plenty. So there was something going on somewhere, man.
And I'll burst your bubble now. I went on a little soapbox and I turned into a vaping preacher.
Oh, no.
Because the New York Times article that I read that I think was the best article for the entire news segment that I covered, because it was factual as far as I could tell. And it literally talked about the history of vaping from the very beginning until now. And when I went to actually show it on the thing while I was recording the video, they had their little paywall message pop up on the bottom because their advertisements ran in the background overnight.
Damn.
And I literally had to give the description of the article off the top of my head. So it kind of got preacher-like.
Nothing wrong with that.
But once you hear the story, you'll totally understand why vapors are so frustrated. I mean, what started off as a little fledgling industry with cigalikes that were crap.
Yeah.
Vapors ran with it. Anyway, I'll save it for the actual thing. I'm going to be releasing it later on tonight. I got it uploaded to YouTube. They're processing it now. I got to make a thumbnail for it and fill in the description, which is the hardest part. In a perfect world, I just copy and paste what I have as the sources from Word and dump it into there. But YouTube has a 5,000 character limit, and they count URLs for those characters.
It's a pain in the arse for that side of it, like.
That's why most people don't even fill in the description.
Mm-hmm.
They will literally put on there the title, and then, if you're any good at search engine optimization, you will put the title in your description somewhere.
Yeah.
Because that's part of, search engine ranking. If you don't have the title in your description, then they don't give you as much weight to your content being what the title says.
I pretty much just copy and paste it straight in. It's the first thing I do. Literally.
The problem is my news reports are anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 characters long. It's literally a research paper. When I do it, it takes me 3, sometimes 4 days, 8 hours a day to put one together.
Wow.
But
it's a lot of, people don't realize you put a lot of work into them, the research alone, you know what I mean?
But like you brought up, asking me if I updated DaVinci Resolve, yes, I did. And this hour and 20 minute long video that's got probably 500, clips and images and effects and scene transitions and all this other stuff, took 5 minutes
Really,
to process.
it's awesome, isn't it? Really good.
Hour and 20-minute video was processed in 5 minutes.
Yep.
Like 5 minutes and 30 seconds, but still, I couldn't believe it. It used to take me 20, 30 minutes to do something like that. It's literally 4 times faster.
It's pretty good. Like, I mean, I've just seen a few bits and bobs and new features. Obviously, the AI stuff and that. But I think it's more for getting rid of background voices rather than background noise itself. So, you know, it's just something to be twiddled with. But it looks good.
Yeah, I had to pay for that. I was telling them I bought a plugin from Waves. It's called Clarity. They have a professional version for $250. I'm like, nah, I can't justify that. I spent $39 on the VST plugin for it. And that's what I use for noise removal. You know, from like, you know, when you're walking around with your camera or whatever, and you've got, you know, background noise, street noise or whatever. It is fantastic at removing stuff. Like I took and made that video about the election bus that was driving around. And I literally took the videos off of Twitter to incorporate into the video, and it got out 99, maybe 95% of the wind noise and the street noise, and you can dial it in so it sounds natural.
Yeah.
Or you could literally get rid of it all and then put like an underlying bed of expected noise that our brains think we should hear when we're listening to somebody talk.
Type of thing, yeah. I'm with you. Honestly, it's getting phenomenal now, man. This stuff, man. It's just getting better and better. I mean, as you can see, I was like looking at something today, like the guys who make videos and they're shooting log. Obviously, when you're editing, and any kind of editor really, will be DaVinci, Premiere, whatever you use, and if you've shot something in log, you need to convert it to Rec 709, which is pretty much the bog standard for monitors and all that crap, you know. And a lot of people use LUTs for that, you know. You can get them actually from your manufacturer of your camera, whoever, they'll supply LUTs. But with DaVinci Resolve, you don't need a LUT. You just use a color space transform, put in what you want, Rec 709, it does it for you. So, you know, you don't even have to fanny on with that. The only time you would...
Yeah, and if you got a bunch of different cameras, it can literally convert all of them to a single color space for you to be able to do your editing in.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, man, what they can do now. And then if you want to do a look, like a LUT, you can put a LUT on the end and it'll transform the... A lot of people, when they put a LUT on, they just bang the LUT and hide straight over the footage and it looks crap. It looks awful. You've got to know what camera was used, you know, like say for Sony S-Log, for example. So you put that LUT in, you would convert, you do all your editing in your X709, convert it back to log, then you would put your LUT over the log, and then the proper conversion will be done. It's clever
Yeah.
stuff. And you can do that with
And I'm telling you, this software is well worth the money to buy the paid version of it. I am so glad I spent the money. I got a bargain. Getting the keyboard, the video editor, because I mean, that cut button alone makes worth the investment of this video editor. Oh, but it's fantastic.
I mean, Premiere Pro, it is a good, you know, editing app, but it's a subscription based and you're constantly paying for it. This with DaVinci, it's a one-off payment and you've got updates for life for free. What more can you ask?
It's like I did with my DJ software, the one that plays the music in the background.
Yeah.
Virtual DJ. I got in on that over a decade ago, and paid the one-off fee, and it was going to be lifetime license.
Yeah.
That's why I sprung for it.
Yeah.
And they later on came out with a monthly subscription. But to my knowledge, they still offer that lifetime license.
Yeah. Best way to do it, in my eyes.
Welcome, Brony Saint. Thank you very much. If you like the way that I deliver the news, well, you're going to love this one. I'll release it later on this evening. I kind of got a little evangelical about vaping, but once you see all the science that I got for this episode, there is absolutely no doubt whatsoever that this should be sold everywhere. You could literally ban smoking, cigarette smoking, as long as this was available everywhere, and you sold this tax-free, or just sales tax. I guarantee you, everybody would be able to quit smoking.
Well, there's Wes Folds that said he misses your vape news. There you go. He misses.
Well, you'll have one out this evening, sir. My wife was like, you shouldn't have to spend 3 days putting together a single video. I'm like, it's not a half-hour video this time. It's a month's worth of news. It's over an hour long. And I don't care whether, it's too long for YouTube or not. The people that care about this are going to watch it.
I mean, sometimes, life gets in the way as well. When you're trying to do this kind of stuff, life itself, you've got other priorities in life, so sometimes it gets in the way.
Especially all the updates for all the software out there. Holy cow. Every week, there's this one came out with an update. That one came out with an update. Stream Deck came out with an update. And the camera that I have, that came out with an update for the software as well. And it's like, okay, well, are these going to play nice together?
Fingers crossed. Well, your printer works, so something was so done.
I didn't touch it. Last week, the streamer bot was the new version, and it was supposed to be identical to the beta version I was using. Obviously, something didn't quite work out, and now all of a sudden it's working.
Yeah.
And I didn't change anything.
Awesome.
All right, so the strawberry Nilla bean cream is a little lackluster in the cream, but that's going to develop in the next week or so. Looking at the vanilla swirls, another one that takes forever to ripen, forever to mature. And this is the first time I've used the Vienna cream from Liquid Barn. But my experience with Liquid Barn stuff is they usually take a little while too, unless it's a fruit flavor. It takes a good week and a half for that to actually fully come out in the recipe. But this is really, really good and really enjoyable. I mean, here it is, 4 days after I mixed it. And you get the strawberry, and it tastes like a Nilla cookie with cream. And because of how light the cream is, I'd say it's even more like a whipped cream. But I didn't use any whipped cream because I don't have any whipped cream.
And
I don't really get caramel.
Did Darren send you any more of them recipes? Did Darren send you any of them recipes over he said for the box? I think he was going to send you an email with some recipes, I think.
Yes, he did send me the actual recipe for the one shot for my candy cane. And there's a bunch of stuff in there that I don't have.
I'm with you.
But I just think it's fantastic. And it's good for my own edification to understand how the recipe was put together.
He said he was going to send you something, so I'm glad he did.
I am too, because my wife has been dying for me to mix up. Remember a couple episodes back, Darren sent me or said that he was going to make a energy drink watermelon flavor.
Right, yeah.
Well, here he's got a one shot. It's watermelon fizz. Ooh. And it says right on the bottom, Mrs. Hunky Vape. So we're going to mix her up this one shot. And I'm going to mix it TPD compliant because it's going to go into the Freemax pod that she's been using that she ran out of coils for. So I suppose that's a perfect segue to our Vape Mail.
There we go.
And I don't have a bumper for it because I haven't made one yet.
Oh.
Sorry.
It'll come eventually, man.
So here's our Vape Mail for today. This is an order that I placed and appropriately named E-Cig Mafia is who I ordered it from.
Hallelujah.
Because with all the prohibitionist laws that are being enacted around the country and all the federal requirements for you to be able to sell this kind of stuff, the Mafia is going to be readily available and making a beautiful comeback, especially in California. Let me just tell you. So, something that I'm looking forward to reviewing. My eye caught it. Smock Mag 18.
Wow.
Listen, I loved my Mag P3 that had the touchscreen that's on the side. I've got 2 of them already. Actually, I have a third one that I've yet to open, but I'm afraid to open it because with it being a touchscreen glass surface, the first time it falls over and it falls on something hard, There goes your screen. There goes your controls because it's all touchscreen based. Well, this one, the screen is right underneath the trigger button. And I love that TFV18. It's a big cloud chucking tank.
Yeah.
So, as soon as I saw the opportunity, and my wife was in one of those spending moods, I said, you know what? Gotta place an order. And I ordered a spare glass for the TFV18 because that's one that I did not have in my inventory. And naturally, another box of coils.
Of course.
Because I really love them. Mm-hmm. But for her, I had to order her coils for her Max Pod. She loves that thing so much. That's the only thing that she's using lately, except for what's on her bed headboard in the bedroom.
Max Pods, yeah.
Because there's no screen or nothing to it. You literally put the pod in, and she's horrible about letting the juice get too low. If you can't see juice in here, you need to fill that thing.
Oh, God.
Not wait until you get a dry hit.
No.
Because once the cotton is singed,
that's it. Ruined.
put that off to the side. I've got two products that I'm in the process of testing. I'm going to actually do the filming for it later today and tomorrow. So those will be going up later this week. My wife was like, wait a minute. You already got the package and didn't tell me about it? I've got one pod left. What am I going to do if I kill it?
Yeah, you'll be in the doghouse.
Well, here's a disposable you could temporarily use. I want to open it on my live stream. Just seen the look on her face.
Yeah.
It was piercing right through my soul.
I can well imagine. Good stuff, man.
All right, fantastic. So, where'd I put it? I just showing you guys. I just talked about it.
You really do need to tidy your desk.
I certainly do. I have been. I've already removed half a dozen tanks and mods
Really?
and put them on the shelf behind me.
Wow.
Calm down. Go into a zen-like state with no neck. And there it is.
Wow. I like it.
Okay. I keep knocking stuff over. This is an issue. I think you're absolutely right. I do need to clean this off.
I've got OCD. I could never have a table like that. Like, I'd be terrible. Hi, Free Rider Paper. Welcome. Palms in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's way better. Strawberry vanilla bean cream.
Getting there, yeah. Nice color as well.
4 days. That's all it took to steep up.
Wow.
I mean, I'm going to continue developing over the next couple of days, but I think it's, at this point, it's the law of diminishing returns kicks in. You know, you wait 4 days and it's mostly there, but from this point forward, it's going to start slowing down.
Yeah.
And the amount of improvement that you're going to get out of it is going to diminish. Another 4 days later, you're going to tell half the difference that you could told from the first day to the fourth day. So,
Where's some of them work, isn't it? You know what I mean? You've got to find that peak time for the flavor, haven't you?
and that's all based on if you have an accurate recipe where all the flavoring ingredients are balanced in there.
Yeah.
Like, Anywhere biscuit is really hard to use as an ingredient because you don't get the flavor initially, and later on, like after a month or so, it can start to take over the rest of the flavors and the ingredients. especially when you got fruits in there, because the fruits start to disappear completely.
Definitely.
And then all you get is a biscuit.
That would be a pain. Hang on, I'm just checking some of that. Yep, I've got that.
All right, so this is designed to be put into a flavor-based solution. And when you add 30 mils of this into this bottle, that is the optimal flavor concentration for this. So it'll continually easily work inside of a pod and inside of a cloud chucking tank. So looking at that, you can come up with the actual percentage of this. It's 30 over 120, and we'll get the calculator out. And that's the actual percentage that it was designed to operate at, especially for a pod system.
RC.
And that is 25% in the recipe. And now you can actually cut that back a little bit. And because my experience with these flavors have been fantastic, I'm going to mix this at a 20% recipe.
20%? Yes.
Yeah. And then I can always add the extra 5% if it needs it.
Well, I suppose this is best to go less because you can always add a bit more, can't you?
Yeah.
But you can't take away if you add too much.
And you can literally use the recipe. What are we going to call this? Watermelon bowl. Instead of Red Bull, it's watermelon bowl.
Water bowl?
Watermelon bowl. Bull. Not bowl. Not a bowl of watermelon.
All of the bull.
Watermelon bully?
That would work.
All right. And since it's going into a pot, I want to mix it up 50-50. And for our secret sauce, we're going to be going full TPD compliant 20.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about it is here's your recipe. It's that simple. When you're trying to figure out, like you guys got your little Nick shots, you can literally calculate, how many of those Nick shots you need to put in.
Yeah.
Right down to the milliliter to get it exactly at the Nick level you want. Normally, most people, once you've been doing this for a while, you just put an extra one in, or if you don't feel like you need it, then you do one less than what it would round off to. But here's our basic thing, and then we're going to take and add our flavor into it. And this is a watermelon.
Hello. Clever stuff, that calculator.
See how good they are. And we're looking at 20% for that. So there we go.
This one for the wonderful wife, is it?
Yes.
Haha. There you go, Mrs. H. He's doing it for you. And he's got your coils. God, man's a legend.
I wouldn't quite go that far.
Well, you've got to throw it out there,
That smells like an energy drink.
Really?
Yeah. All right. So we're going to need 12 grams of this, which is essentially 12 milliliters.
ml. Give it a take of one or two.
Yeah, with the one shots, like I said, especially considering I'm not doing this at the 25% that it would be in a flavor base. Yeah. If you were just literally trying to get 2 out of one of these one shots. So you can be off a little bit, and it's not really gonna make or break the recipe. It's not like, when you've got 5 different ingredients in there,
Yeah.
And you throw off the whole percentage of things, because sometimes a 0.5% can literally change the flavor profile and, you know, what the position is inside the race, the flavor race.
Like I say, the one shots are just more forgiving, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's literally one flavor profile, and it's just how, it's like you're turning the volume up on the flavor. How much flavor volume do you need in your recipe? And then the thing is, once she uses this, if she thinks that, you know, it's not enough, I could literally take the bottle back from her and add in that extra 5%, which would be a fourth of 12, which would only be another 3 milliliters of this flavoring.
Well, she's commenting saying that she needs that now.
Well, you will have it, and it'll be ready to go, because I'm going to pop this coil in here. I'm going to put it inside this yellow pod, which is already charged up, ready to go, and it'll be sitting on your end table for dinner tonight.
There you go.
And being that it's going into a pod, we are going to do the 20 of Nick for this. So that is also going to be 12 milliliters.
Saint Nick. I don't know.
So we tear that out. Here's 5. That's why I like using syringes.
Ah, syringes.
There's another 5. And now I need 2.
Bang, done.
12.43 is what we're shooting for. Close enough.
Where? Lovely jubbly, that man. Lovely jubbly.
What are we looking at for PG? 6.2. So I can get my little bottle out. And it's just a hair over, but that's okay, because it's easy to compensate with the VG, which is what makes up the rest of this. So we take all of our loose ingredients and use that to blend everything together. And we literally fill off the bottle with our vegetable glycerin, and that's 37.8.
Sorry, I'm just messing around with something here. So, there you go.
So here's a question that I've had dying inside me trying to figure out. What inspired you to call your channel the Vaping Heed?
Oh, I think it's from the geographical area that I live in.
Ah.
Up in the northeast of England, we've got like what they're called Geordies, who are basically Newcastle. And you've got like Mackhams, we call them Mackhams, but the Wearsiders is the correct term, which are from Sunderland. You know, we've got that river dividing us. And obviously the accent, you know, we don't say head, we say heed, you know, so I thought, well, you know, Vaping Heed. But it's very similar to Scottish, because the Scots say the same thing, so, you know, Geordie and the Scottish are probably very close together, like with accent wise. Obviously, as you go over to Northumberland, the accent gets broader, and then as you venture into Scotland, then it's a big, broad Scottish accent, you know. So that was kind of where it was. It's just like mainly off the accent, what we talk up in the northeast of England, you know what I mean? So that's how it ended up, basically. I was going to call the heat above the clouds, but obviously it's just too long. Short and sweet.
That is always a big, you know, debate. Like when you go to open up a business, or in the case of YouTube, you open up a channel, What do you call that? Because once you pick that name, you're stuck with it for the eternity that you're on there.
It's just Bruce, you said never confuse a Geordie for a Scot. I know where you're coming from, but I'm just saying there are similarities in the words we use rather than the accent. Dave Dome, yeah. You learned that from Dave Dome. Yeah, we're similar, 'cause like I say, we're northeast and we're pretty much on the border to Scotland anyway, you know what I mean? We're very close to Scotland. I would say, what? Hour's drive, maybe it's an hour and a half's drive and you cross the border to Scotland. It's pretty that close, you know what I mean? It's not that far.
That's fantastic. I always wondered about it, though. It's like, you know, I had to first off look up, you know, what it was as a heed. What is a heed? And then it was like, with me loving, you know, King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table and all that, you know, English history and medieval history and stuff. It's like, okay.
I've got a joke about that. Everybody's probably heard it. Like, you've all heard of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, legendary English folklore. But did you know who designed the Round Table?
It was Merlin's idea, wasn't it?
Nah. Circumference. I know it's corny, but
that deserves a circumcision.
You know, Sir Lancelot, you know, circumference.
Yeah.
What can I say? I think I've told it so many times as well. I think people are getting bored with it. They say that's just a terrible dad joke. I said, well, you know, somebody's got to do it. Oh dear. It tickled. That's my sense of humour, actually. It tickled my funny bone when I heard it. So there you go.
It got to me as well, sir.
Happy days, man. Happy days.
Fantastic. Happy days for sure, because my wife is definitely going to be a fan of having this pod ready to go for her. Whether she likes the flavor or not, that's yet to be determined.
Keep her happy. Keep her happy.
She's always happy.
We've started something now. Ian Thomas has got, how do you circumcise a wheel? We are eager to know, Ian.
I would love to know.
Is that a question for us, or is that a question you're asking? Because I wouldn't know.
I wonder if there's a National Geographic episode dedicated to exactly that answer.
There probably is, you know. You know what I mean?
Well, while we ponder that, I do want to, and this is a little tidbit that I also included inside the news this week. I also do want to show you guys something. It is OXVA's 3rd anniversary. I fell in love with their stuff. I've got 6 of the Arbiters. You guys know how much I love it. I still say that's the best RTA that was ever designed. Well, this is their 3rd anniversary. And they have a contest going on. If anybody's interested, all you got to do is take a picture of any of the OXVA stuff you got and post it on social media, and you can enter into their contest.
Ooh, interesting.
And this is not for sale for $99,999.
Wow.
This is what they're giving away for their 3rd anniversary.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
Look at that. Little Xlim, and you got all these different coil options and stuff.
Smart, that, like.
It's fantastic. Where is Is this the website? This is all the stuff that they're giving away.
Wow.
None of this stuff is for sale. This is all prizes for entering into the contest. I can't find the actual thing. Was it their blog? Yeah, it was their blog that I saw it in.
Possibly, yeah.
11/11 is their birthday. They were born during the pandemic in 2019.
Wow.
And as you guys know, Justin Lai was a chief developer for Geek Vape and founded OXVA.
That's right, yeah.
Look, I said the Xlim was the best pod of 2022. So did East Click. Fantastic.
Just jumping in there to the answer to the question we were pondering is how do you circumcise a weird? And apparently you send down 4 skin divers. Oh, come on.
Oh, that is horrible.
That's
Oh,
worse
no.
than mine, that's. I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
Fantastic. All right, so let's get rid of the rest of the vape mail.
Yep. I know this, but Sean's asking which part of the USA you're from, Alex. I know this, like, but you know,
Pittsburgh area.
Pittsburgh. For all you that don't know, he's a Pittsburgh guy.
I was originally from the Cleveland, Ohio area.
Ooh, Cleveland, Ohio. There you go. Bruni Saint said, I just got my first RTA the other day, a Zeus X Mesh, bought local to explain it. Bought local to, I don't know what you mean by that, but yes, nice one.
He bought it locally in the shop
Yeah.
so that they could explain how to go about building the mesh for it.
Oh.
It is a little finicky.
Good tank, the Zeus is like, they're a good tank.
Haha.
Hope you enjoyed, Seth.
Look at what I got in this thing. The Xlim C. No screen.
Eh?
This is horrible. That's what my wife didn't like about this Xlim because it had a screen on it. She's like, oh, it's too complicated to figure it out.
But there you go. There's
Well,
one for the white.
here they have the Xlim C, and looking at what else comes in the package, it's not a disposable pod. You can change the coils.
Wow. And you get a
Look at that.
free lanyard.
Yeah. That's going to be perfect for her
Yeah.
when she's at work. She doesn't have to worry about leaving it in her purse or hanging in her pocket. She can just literally leave the lanyard hanging on her thing. And then when, in between customers, she can pop out the front door and scoot her on the side of the building and get her break in.
That's kind of cool, like.
Yeah. And I like how look how they're packaging the coils now.
Right?
I love that. Instead of having to buy the foil pack.
I don't mind the little screen on it. I mean, it's not that you really do much, you only like turn it up and down, really, don't you, to be honest with you, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's not much.
I really love it.
It's all right.
And I can't recall ever having to actually use the button. I tested it when I did the review on it, but I haven't touched the button since then.
I've already set mine at, I've already set the wattage. I've got like a 0.6 in, I'm at 22 watts. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but there you go. That's roughly where I'm at. Oh, get on, you little bugger. There you go.
This is fantastic.
There you go. Don't know if it's gonna flicker or not, but there you go. That's pretty much where I am. Oh, cool little space. Perfect for in the house and perfect for out and about.
I couldn't believe it. I just got the email about that yesterday.
Really?
And it was already here.
Wow.
Huh. All right. One last thing. Compliments of Amazon. I had to place an order because I was starting to run low on PG. And me, being a frugal man, want to find out if there is a more affordable or cost-effective way to get my hands on the PG that I use. Now, this box comes with two 500 ml bottles of PG in it.
Oh.
And they have toppers, you know, for the actual bottle, if you want to use them that way.
Yeah.
And you can also order this box split with a bottle of PG and a bottle of EG, or you can order it both with vegetable glycerin. I've been using Biofarm as the VG and PG source when I first got into DIY, simply because it was readily available on Amazon. It's $20, and I looked at it, I'm like, I'd go buy $20 for a bottle of juice. I'd pay more for the bottle of juice than I would for this.
Definitely.
So I sprung and got that. But naturally, while I was looking on Amazon's website, I'm like, is there more cost affordable way to get propylene glycol? I mean, if it's 100%, it's 100%, right?
Probably a cheaper brand would be cheaper, I suppose. Or if you bought it in bulk, you might be able to go cheaper.
I mean, I've been buying vegetable glycerin before I started vaping because that's what I use in my fog machine. I'd make my own fog liquid because it's essentially vegetable glycerin and distilled water. And then we got into vaping, and then you just swap the distilled water out for propylene glycol.
Why don't you put a flavor?
So,
why don't you put a flavor in your fog machine and just inhale?
listen, I used to buy scented fog juice for the machines, especially, you know, for birthday parties and stuff, and get a strawberry flavor or cherry flavor. And it would literally put that scent in the whole room.
Try and put your flavor.
So here we have from Bella Chemical. This is 32 fluid ounces, and when you look at it, you're essentially getting a liter's worth of PG, and this was only $13 versus $20 for the two 500 ml bottles.
That's a big old bottle.
So I'm going to literally take a recipe after the show today, and I'm going to mix it up using this PG, and I'm going to mix it up using the other PG, and see if I can taste any difference to it. See if it vapes any different. But if it's 100% VG, I mean, they're an FDA registered facility.
Shouldn't really be any difference, I wouldn't have thought, like, but you know, you never know, do you?
Shouldn't be any difference whatsoever. So here I thought that since, you know, political season was over, my phone calls are going to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably still trying to get a hold of me for my car warranty. 160,000 miles on the truck, and they want to extend my warranty?
Nope.
All right, so that's the end of the vape mail. Sorry it wasn't anything more exciting.
Hey.
But it's nice to know, you know, that there are multiple sources for us to easily be able to access the ingredients that we use in our recipes.
What again?
Secret sauce is becoming the hardest thing to get a hold of.
I mean, like you say, some of the flavors you buy can be a little bit expensive, you know. So where you can save, you know, money on one ingredient or whatever, you know, you can splash out a bit more on another. You know what I mean? It's especially the stuff you're going to use a lot of, the PGVG. I mean, you can get that dirt cheap, you're laughing.
Oh, and especially if you decide to buy it by the gallon, you can get it even cheaper prices. And now that I've got, you know, multiple containers, like, you know, when I placed my order from River Supply before they stopped selling to the public and only sold to manufacturers, I've got 8 bottles that I can literally transfer a gallon into and divide it up and then set it off on the shelf and never have to worry about it. Wes Folds, hello and welcome. And Free Ride Vapor, hello and welcome. Thanks for stopping by. But even Mowgli Vapes had mentioned to me is like, you know, there are certain brands that you want to stay away from because they just have an off taste to their VG. Despite being 99.8% or 99.7% pure, they can still have a funky taste. don't even remember what the brand was that he warned me off about. But it was the one that I used to use when I made fog juice.
Strange, yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean...
All right, so the other thing I wanted to do, since we mixed up our flavors one shot, make the wife happy, is last week we were working on remodulating or reformulating our recipe. And it was 2 episodes ago we came up with watermelon cotton candy.
That's the one, yeah.
Was the thing. And then last week we reformulated it. So now it's time for us to actually try the 2 out and see how did we do on a reformulation. Did it make it better? Did it make it worse? Did it get us closer to where we expect it to be?
Only one way to find out.
It would help if I put it on the right. Yep, that's the right one. All right. So we'll start off with episode 20's version. This is now 2 weeks into the steep.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a dry watermelon cotton candy. There really isn't very much sweetness to it. And I think what we're running into is cotton candy itself is literally just ethyl maltol. It's a sweetener. And with ethyl maltol, if you put too much into a recipe, it will muddle the flavors and it will subdue flavors.
All right.
A lot of mixers will literally make up the recipe and then they'll have like some really sharp notes in it, but the rest of the recipe is fine.
Yeah.
They'll literally put more ethyl maltol in it, or they'll add ethyl maltol into the recipe. And by doing so, it'll take the sharp edges off while the rest of the flavors pretty much stay where they're at. It's a very interesting sweetener. So it's kind of a lackluster watermelon.
Lackluster. That's the word you were looking for. A lackluster one.
And then last week's version we mixed up. We'll pop that onto the coil. Make sure it's fully saturated. So that's what we taste.
Oh.
Wow, what a difference.
Really?
What a difference.
Sorry, I was just there. Oh, that's so good. I was just taking my shoes off and
The simple things in life as we get older, it's just amazing how many there are.
I can just feel them tingling now with relaxation.
I hardly ever wear shoes unless I'm going out somewhere because of the gout in my feet.
I've been
Circulation problems and stuff.
Pretty much had them on all day because I've been running about the day and a bit, and it's just so nice to kick them off.
Listen, that's why I love Australia.
Only you should mention that. I've just had a spell of gout.
Oh, yeah?
I have, and a bloody crib of it, but I got some cracking tablets off my doctor, and it's practically gone.
Wow.
Good. And off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you what they are because the name's about 25,000 letters long. But I think it's
OBS, disconnect, reconnect.
I think it's basically like an anti-inflammatory type of painkiller thing, you know what I mean? So, it's working. It was right on my big toe, you know, you sell the big toe, the big joint on your big toe. It was right there where I had it now.
That's where I got my first one.
God, it was crippling this. I couldn't put any weight on it or nothing. So, the medication is good, honestly. It's fantastic. I'm buzzing. I can actually walk now.
So, is it an anti-inflammatory or does it reduce the uric acid in your blood?
I think it's a bit of both. Hang on. Just wait. I'll get it.
All right, so taking a look at this recipe that we formulated and adapted last week is definitely a candied watermelon. Beautiful flavor. You get that tanginess that really starts to shine as the main note. Your initial sensation is identifying that it's a watermelon, and then you get that candied sensation, and then it really doesn't have anything that lingers afterwards. So now, for us to be able to take this recipe and take it to the next level, we have to add a little bit of body to it and separate those flavor profiles so that we get something that is close to it, but a little contrasty thing. And the easy ingredient to be able to do something like that is dragon fruit. So today we're going to take this recipe, we're going to visit it again and come up with a version 3, add a little bit of dragon fruit to it, and that should be able to easily achieve a beautiful watermelon cotton candy.
It's an anti-inflammatory, that's what it is. And I can't pronounce it. It's naproxen, something called naproxen.
Yeah, naproxen is the over-the-counter stuff here in the States.
That is brilliant. It's done a
Naproxen sodium.
Yeah, it's done an absolute awesome job. So I'd say that's more
Fantastic.
inflammatory, yeah.
How many milligrams is your tablet? And do you take 1 or 2?
500s.
They're 500.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, the work of treatment.
Those are sold in the States over the counter in 200 milligram tablets.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to take them with food, don't you? Don't take them on an empty stomach. You've got to take them with a meal.
Oh, yeah.
And the
It tears my wife's stomach up, too.
the work of treat. You give us some stomach tablets as well, just in case I've got any like acid reflux up it or something, whatever you get. So that I've never had any bother. Absolutely none. And it's cleaned up mint. I'm out of the moon with it.
Awesome.
Oh my god, look who's popped up. I don't know if you can see him, but he's pretty much in the dark, but hang on. I'll just shine a bit of light on him. I don't know if you can see him. Hang on a minute. Where is he? Bear with us, I'll just there you go. The pooch has joined us on the couch.
Nice. Mine are downstairs sleeping.
I'm sorry I have to turn the light, but he's black. You can't see him in the dark. He's got a habit of lying on the top of the stairs, and in the night you can't see him. So one of these days we're just going to go straight over the top of the swan dive doing these stairs with this dog.
Dusty Country Road, hello and welcome.
Oh, Dusty, how you doing, mate? It's all right. We don't mind you being late as long as you turn up. That's anything.
And for those of you in the DIY community that don't know, Fresh Show 3 is back on Saturdays mixing again.
Ooh.
Nice to have Dustin back in the community, putting out the live streams. I watched him with Addy Tooney and Mullen, Daytime Frank. Who was the other one? There was one other one that was on the show. There were 5 of them there. But anyway, if you ever have any questions about DIY, that is a perfect show for you to pop in on. These guys have mixed every recipe you can imagine and have most of the flavoring ingredients that are on the planet. So if you got a question about something, pop in on that show and I guarantee you'll get your answers.
They'll know. They don't know what they don't know is not worth knowing, basically.
Yeah, that's the truth. And as a bonus, they always, all 5 of them make a recipe for the actual show, do it on live, and then they actually post them on the DIY. Eliquidrecipes.com, and you can check out the recipes, and if you happen to have the ingredients, you can make it, or you can order the missing things that you have, and fantastic flavors and fantastic recipes.
That's what you want. That's what you want.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as time goes on, we're not going to have much of a choice. There are so many people that are growing into this community, not by choice, but by legislation, being forced into a flavor ban in their area. And yes, you can order from out of the state or out of the country to get access to your stuff. But once you realize how simple DIY is, the hunt begins for your all-day vape that you made yourself.
That's kind of a question I've had like in the back of my head regarding that. Like say, they do the vape bans, the flavour bans and all that. And then they realise people are making their own stuff. Do you think they'll start go headhunting after that eventually? Try and...
They're already cracking down on the nicotine.
Yeah. But I'm talking like, the flavour concentrates that you can buy. Do you think they'll start,
Nah.
going up?
Look, because how can you prove intent? Flavors are sold you can make your muffins, pancakes. You can add these flavorings into your pancakes to flavor your pancakes in the morning.
It's just because, like I say, it is kind of a loophole, isn't it? And they always try to close loopholes up, you know what I mean? Like over here with cigarettes, the banned menthol cigarettes, banned them. But now you can buy cigarettes that look like menthol, and you just buy a tube of menthol and just add it to the cigarette, and that's it. And it's classed as an accessory. That's why you can get away with it. Same with us. We've been doing it for years with these, with the big glass. The bubble glass. You can't sell it with the bubble glass, but they give you it as an accessory, and that's how you get away with it. It's a loophole.
One of the things that I covered in the news is Michigan has now enacted or started the legislation to prohibit and control and license every single thing that may be construed as a vapor product.
Wow.
My problem with this whole legislation is there's an exception in there for marijuana. So an 18-year-old can walk into a dispensary and say that, he's got stress or anxiety and needs to have marijuana to deal with his stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
He can leave that dispensary and smoke marijuana, or he can vape marijuana, and this law does not apply to him. But if he decides that he wants to stop smoking, he's got to be 21 years old before he's allowed to access legally a vaping device.
It's backward, isn't it? It's totally backwards.
And the way that they wrote the law, 0 milligram liquid is considered a tobacco product.
It ain't.
I do not understand that. If there's no nicotine in this, you have to prove intent. How are they ever going to prove intent?
It's like when you get, they don't do them they didn't do it on the older ones, but you'll get, like, say, a box of a product like that, and it says this contains nicotine. No, it doesn't. That's the hardware. It doesn't contain.
That's because there's some country or some city or some place somewhere that required that ridiculous label.
That's the hardware. There's no actual nicotine in any hardware at all. See there. Hey, well, there's a classic one. This is one of the bottles for the Centaurus Squanger, and there you go. This product contains nicotine. No, it doesn't. There's absolutely no nicotine in there whatsoever. It's just a device. It's the carrier. It's the tool. You know what I mean? So I don't understand it. But thankfully, the UK is eventually going to separate them. That was part of the, I believe, the sit-down talks we're going to have, which have obviously postponed now with all that's going on. But they were going to actually have vaping as a total separate entity away from the tobacco. That was also in the pipeline. Whether that'll happen or not, we won't know. But that's the way the people were thinking. Mark King, hello Mark King, welcome.
All right, there you go, folks.
Oh, there's the
I just set up the poll.
poll for the retro vape. Oh,
There's your poll to decide which one of these two we're going to open up and take a look at and build today.
I think they're gonna go for the Creed. That's where I'm edging.
So go ahead and place your votes out there. We'll let this go on for a while.
I'm edging the Creed. That's me.
Either or.
Can I vote, can I?
Honestly, with all the other stuff I did today, it was basically reaching into the laundry basket that's full of all my vape stuff that's not been opened or touched yet. And those are the two rebuildable ones that were on the top.
Well, the Creed is way ahead at the moment, 67%. Instant. Holy moly. I've voted as well, like. I thought I'd sneak one in.
Interesting.
I hope all votes are anonymous.
I couldn't even vote. It asked me to sign in, which is a flaw in OBS.
That's the thing when you're hosting. There's a lot of stuff you can't do when you're hosting.
That's because they're using Chrome window to do it. So unfortunately, that chat is now gone for the rest of this episode.
Well, we've got a 70-30, so that's VGPG. What can I see? Holy moly. Got 10 votes in. Oh, it's 70-30 with 10 votes in. That's awesome. I had a feeling it would go that way.
There we go. We're back.
Oh, I've just had. Oh shit! What have I done there? Oh hell! I've done something wrong. On. I've lost it. There we go.
There we go. I have it in an external browser. I see it now. 70-30. Not even close. 10 votes.
I've just had a notification there pop up. That's why I lost him. And I had a notification pop on my YouTube. And Bruni Saint has just subscribed my channel. So I totally appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Awesome, man. Totally appreciate it.
Just like they said on Fresh's live stream that he did. He's like, listen, I know who it was. N Divine 83, the wire builder. Nick Devine was the other guest on that show. And he was the one that even pointed out, he's like, listen, with all the hostility going on, especially on YouTube right now, if you're a vapor out there, you need to subscribe to people's channels. Even if it's not somebody that you would normally like watch, just being a subscriber helps that channel out so much.
It's just the support as well. I mean, as much as I appreciate and try to interact with all my subscribers when they leave comments and stuff, it's the support, and you know, we totally appreciate it. You know yourself, like Alex, you know, when he does his new things, there's a lot of work goes on behind the scenes. You know, it all looks nice and brash when it's done, but you know, there's a lot of stuff goes in behind the scenes, and there's a lot of investment as well in gaming equipment. So every you know, piece of support, whether it be a subscriber, whether it be a donation, whatever, it's all totally appreciated, you know, and it makes it worthwhile without a doubt.
Fantastic motivation.
It is.
To keep putting the stuff out there.
It is. So again,
and you know, like you said, there's subscriptions. You know, fortunately, we use DaVinci Resolve to edit, but there's still other subscriptions. Like, you know, to make the thumbnails and stuff, you know, I have to subscribe to Photopea.
Well, funny.
So that I can use that instead of Photoshop.
You can do them in DaVinci, matey. There you go.
Yeah, you can do it in DaVinci, and that kind of would force me to learn all the little intricate settings and stuff.
Piece of cake. Honestly, you'd be surprised how easy it is. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It is. And you can keep it. So all you've got to change is your picture and alter your text. You can keep the general layout. You know what I mean?
I can't believe how much I've actually learned about DaVinci Resolve itself. It's just fantastic.
Piece of cake, honestly. I had Photoshop and everything just for thumbnails, and I thought, I'm not using it, so what's the point? And there you go. I got rid of it, and I can do it all in DaVinci. I do everything regarding editing, etc. in DaVinci. Everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I use it for everything except the thumbnail.
I think what it is with DaVinci, it's become that popular now because like when it first came out, obviously you've got your Premiere Pro. There's loads of people on YouTube, and you know the fantastic people. You know they're sharing their knowledge. Well done, sir. And they were always giving you free stuff away. You know, like free effects and free templates and all this stuff. But now DaVinci, there's a lot of people giving you free stuff for that as well, and it is absolutely fantastic stuff as well. So it's kind of catching up there. There's more stuff available for it now, and you know, titles, little, you know, banners and stuff like that. There's all sorts coming out for it now, and it's really good. But yeah, definitely worth the investment. Definitely.
And there really is no investment if somebody wants to try and just try the program out.
Yeah, you can get it.
Something I did notice, though, Windows 11 has a built-in video editor now.
Yes, it has.
This latest update they put out there, I went to open up a video and it's like, what program do you want to use? I'm like, I don't know what you've been using to open it. I just want to play the video. And I clicked the wrong thing and it came up with this video editor and it wanted to know more about me. Like, what are you creating this video for? And, you know, are you a content creator? Are you doing this for home or for school? Or
I think it was on Windows 10 as well. To be honest with you. Oh. There's the door. That's him on his way out. I think it was on Windows 10 as well, if I'm correct, but it was more basic than what the other one is. I mean, it's still pretty basic, the one on Windows 11. It's nothing great. It's just like cutting and pasting and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, awesome. Can't recommend.
Well,
even if you
looking at the votes,
videography, you can still use. You don't have to be a YouTuber to use it. If you like making videos for whatever,
yeah.
you know, you can use it for anything. Absolutely brilliant, man. Awesome. But anyway,
I guess the Geek Vape Creed won.
I think it did. So, before we do get into your retro build, do you want me to reveal what my retro setup is?
Yes, that would be fantastic.
I mean, there's probably a few people in there now who may know what this is, but this is, the mod is the Dovpo MVV. It's been out quite a while now. There's different colours on it and different releases of it. I got the shiny one, but you can get with different designs on. And the piece de resistance, as they say, is the OBS Engine 2.
Ooh!
Does anybody remember that?
I never got my hands on it.
OBS Engine 2 was one of the first top airflow tanks that came out. I'll tell you, I've just dug this out, cleaned it. It did have an unusual way of coiling it. The coils hang from your post rather than point up from your post, and the hang.
Wow!
And the hang directly above the bottom airflow. I'll tell you what it is. The flavour of this can still match the flavour of today's devices by a mile. It is absolutely an amazing RTA. But yeah, you hang your coils. It's got it's like a bit like a dead rabbit, you know. The screws and everything behind, and your coils hang, and you've got two bottom airflows that are straight under your coils. And the flavour with it being bottom airflow, so to speak, is phenomenal of this thing. It still is. The only improvement I would do on that to bring it up to scratch is just put the honeycomb on the airflow, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. But that's what it is, guys. And it is the fill, you lift this ring up and you've got a filling port there. You just slide that ring up and there's a little filling port there, and you just drop the ring back down. So you don't even have to take a top off to fill it. It's brilliant tank. But yeah, OBS Engine 2 on top of the Dovpo MVV. There you go, guys. Delicious.
Now I understand why you said that I will recognize the company that mod was made by.
Yeah, like I say, OBS. I don't know if they're still going now. I mean, OBS, my God. But as you can see, it's still chucks the clouds and the flavour's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. They did have the engine and they had the engine 2, so there was 2 of them that came out. There you go, OBS Cube.
That's their fingerprint cube.
That's right.
I ordered that. It took 3 months for me to get it because I ordered it straight from China.
Mm-hmm.
And then
OBS Ultra. Yeah.
those are the only 2 OBS things that I was ever able to get my hands on. And they're still fully sealed.
Not even open. God, what you like. Oh, yes.
One of these days we'll get to it.
It's still a flavour blanger, and it's a bit of a cloud chugger. Honestly, if you can ever get your hands on one of these, really get one. They are absolutely awesome.
I've heard a lot of people tell me that.
Brilliant RTA. The one
They weren't available because that was one of the ones I did look for whenever I was on the apocalypse hunt.
but it's absolutely fabulous. It's just as good. I mean, I know that juice. Like I say, I put me yellow mess in, and it's one of my all-day vapes. That I know that juice, I know the flavour, and it is banging in that. I'm honestly absolutely banging. Love it.
Ian Thomas says that Engine 2 was decent.
It did. It was one of the first top airflow RTAs on them. You know, the very early ones that were out. Absolutely awesome tank. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Doing good, Mark. Thank you for asking. Hello, Coil.
Hello, Kyle. Strange name, but there you go.
That's interesting. Dusty Country Road says that a tablespoon of baking soda mixed in a glass full of water will work to make your body more alkaline and should help with the gout.
It's something to do with that.
Interesting.
It's actually too much uric acid or something, and it just crystallizes in your joints.
Yep. Uric acid builds up and your body has a hard time getting rid of it, and then it crystallizes in your joints, and it doesn't become an issue until you put any strain or stress on that joint. Mm-hmm. That's what my first gout outbreak was I literally woke up one night and the exercise bike was there, and I was running to the bathroom and felt like I broke my toe.
It's awful.
I didn't actually break it. It was just all the crystals that had been building up on my toe joint had set free, and that was what my first gout flare-up was.
That, like I say, that's the first time I've ever had it in my life. Ever. To be quite honest, I wasn't really 100% what it actually was until I went to the doctors for it. You know what I mean? I thought it was like a wart or something. You know, you've got gout. You know, it's a wart or something. I thought that's literally what I thought it was. Some kind of ulcer or wart. You know, you've got a gout now, but. There you go.
I thought it was, arthritis starting to come in and whatnot. Although with my medical background and being a paramedic for over 15 years, I knew that eventually it was going to be an issue for me. Because when I first took my physical exams and blood work and testing to work for the hospital, they identified the fact that my uric acid levels were way elevated. And they're like, you need to see your doctor and take medicine for that. I'm like, I'm not taking medicine for the rest of my life, knowing all the side effects that there are for gout medicine.
Exactly.
I says, I'll deal with it after I have my first flare-up.
Exactly.
So, fortunately, since I switched to vaping, they're far and few in between now.
I do apologise, Kyle. I do recognise you, my friend. I'm just, I know you're there. I know who you are. I'm not ignoring you.
Fantastic.
He's everywhere, Kyle. How can you not know Kyle? He gets everywhere.
I don't get out as much as I used to, you know, in the vaping community. I used to be religiously, you know, watching Nick and then watching Legion Vapes, and those were two shows I never missed. And then, you know, I started getting the DIY, and I was watching all of Wayne's stuff, and then Fresh 03, and it's like, with all the stuff going on nowadays, it's so hard. It's just like, if I'm not working in my office and get a notification that somebody's live, it's like, I mean, impossible to hit a show.
I've only just like recently got back into like watching the live shows. You know, I've never watched any live shows for quite a while, you know, because you know, other things have come along, you know, and I've kind of forget a few of the names, and all of a sudden the name will come like, I remember such and such, and I do apologise, you know, I'm guilty of it, but I think once you've been out of the mix for a while, like, you're kind of like, oh gosh, I need to keep up with this stuff, but yeah, it's just one of them things. Plus, I'm getting old and I'm getting senile, so that might be a thing now.
And you know what? That's actually a good thing. The older you get, the easier it is to use that as an excuse.
It is. It's brilliant, isn't it? I'm partially deaf as well, so sometimes they call it selective hearing.
What? Did you say something?
Yeah, it's selective hearing.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Things you get on with. Things you do as you get older.
So here we have the Geek Vape Creed. I'm going to skip the things because I know that Geek Vape likes to put URLs on all their stuff.
Oh yes, you've got to hide the dreaded URLs and that now. It's just, it's a no-no. Thank you, YouTube, for that one.
No posters, no
Nope.
warning labels.
That's how stuff used to be made, you see? That's the, you know what I mean? That's when they made stuff properly.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, they use the exact same packaging for all of their stuff. You have one foamy thing here, you have a box on the bottom. Yeah. And that was one of the things that tipped me off to the identifying whether it's real or fake, was when I got it, it was like this. I'm like, I've never seen Geek Vape put their tank on the bottom. Plus, this wasn't a nice soft foamy thing.
Yeah.
It was like this color, and it was hard. I'm like, that's not right. And I looked at it, and I'm like, everything else looked identical. It was an exact clone.
Odd.
Look at that. So this just snaps on then.
Pretty much.
Look at that deck.
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw that type of velocity?
Velocity deck. Wow.
And they have different type of airflow inserts, rings that you can put on.
Yeah. That's just proper blast from the past, that, like.
So you've got one that has no holes, no openings on it. It literally forces it to be bottom fed only.
Yeah.
Because look at the bottom here, you see there's two airflow slots there.
That's right, yeah.
And then you've got what appears to be like a honeycomb. And then you have a fan design. Kind of like the Arbiter 2. And they did that with a velocity deck. I've never seen anything like that. And it's been so long since I, placed the order for this. It's like, I don't even remember it. You know of any other tanks that have that kind of design?
Very long time ago. Jesus, velocity sail deck, man, Christ. But they were big in that day, weren't they? Now everything had a velocity deck. Everything.
Yeah. Now, here's the real question. Did they include any type of coil with this tank?
Cause we both know it's gonna hurt, but not as much as this does. So baby, bye. It's for the
510 drip tip. Spare glass, straight glass.
Kyle's asking.
You don't like the bubble glass?
What Kyle's asking? What diameter is that actual RTA bud? I can't remember. Is it 20? 20? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I mean, I don't know if it was a 25 or 28. I can't remember.
It's like 26, and then when you put the bubble glass on,
25, wasn't it? Yeah, 25. They just look a bit bigger with the glass on, don't you? Think, oh, maybe what's that O-ring on the bottom? They were notorious for them, mind. They were catching. That was the only thing with them O-rings on the bottom of the glass.
yeah, but the good thing is if you know that these ones are L-shaped O-rings, they're already pre-formed.
That's right, yeah.
You know how to put them on. If you put them on backwards, man, you can really screw it up.
Yeah. Or if you go too tight and crush them, oh, you're asking for trouble.
That amazes me, you know, how beautiful this airflow adjustment is. This thing's been sitting in a box for how many years? I don't even know when this Creed came out.
Ian Thomas will probably find that one out for you. There you go, Ian. There's your homework. When the Creed come out.
Is it a twist off top or is it a slide top? Looks like a twist off.
I think it's twisty.
Well, the bottom wants to come out easy. So let's disassemble this and yeah. Screw on top. See the threads internally there? Like the modern ones would extend this chimney up and then thread onto it, or your quarter turns attached there. This one literally threads all the way on the outside.
Yeah.
I can't believe how thin that is. Look at the lip on that.
Even the kidney holes aren't all that big either for filling, you know what I mean? When you think about it.
Yeah. Interesting, though.
Hold on, let's have a look.
However, there are no coils in the baggie. O-rings out the wazoo, different color O-rings. Spare drip tip. You've got a clear one and you've got the black one. And then obviously you got the Ultim with the matchy ring.
Oh God. We're looking. Hold on, Creed. Go to one there. That's looking. Where did that come up? I think you're looking around 2018-ish as the general consensus when that one came out. Roughly about there.
Well,
Looking about 2018 when that came out.
the question is, what coils do we want to throw into this thing?
Spoiled for choice for that now. Jesus Christ.
Do I want to make my own, or do I want to pull out a set of
What a guy. Look at all that, man.
Coilology, maybe?
There's enough there to last for the rest of your natural life, mate. You know what he
Now you see why when I was reached out by that one guy, I'm like,
you're never going to need to buy a coil again after all that.
I've also got like drip tips and stuff in here too, spares,
God.
which is good because my wife lost the drip tip from her Arbiter too.
Oh no.
She had it in her purse and she's like, it's still in there somewhere. These coils were crap.
It's,
I have never got good results out of these ones. I don't know if these are just some generic Chinese knockoffs.
pre-built coil fuse Clapton.
But there's some twisted Clapton 0.45 ohms.
They don't look either, do they?
We got spare wire. This tank's a royal pain in a wazoo.
Balloon.
The Valuna. It's Modus. Recognize their star. Well, you know what? Rather than digging through that, I think I'm just going to use BP mods wire. Twist our own.
You'll be there all day by the time you find something there.
Yeah, by the time I dig through it all and find something that's the right resistance, I mean, I do have that brand new thing I picked up from DovePo.
Oh.
They have like 6 different kind of coils in them.
Oh, the multi-packs, right?
Yeah. But with this velocity deck, you're kind of limited on the diameter that you can throw into this.
Yeah.
By the time you stack them up in there, because it's going to come in from both sides.
She'll get 3 mil in there, like easy.
Well, yeah. But I'm looking at, you can't use a triple fused staggered Clapton or
You can get a big beefy thing in there. You probably
I'm just going to use some basic Clapton.
a basic, 2-3 core fuse Clapton, something like that. Which are still quite
So
nice
we're looking,
Still nice coils, Claptons. Do like them.
the resistance on this going to be too low. Well, I'll just throw it on the DNA worst case scenario. Do we use number 3 or number 2?
See, folks, he's got that much stuff. He's got that much stuff.
But this is what I love about BP. You flip it over, it legit tells you if you're taking a 2.5 millimeter, each wrap is going to be 0.06 ohms. So you can simply do the math. A 6 wrap, 2.5 millimeter is 6 times that, so it's going to be 0.36.
Yeah.
And then if it's a 3 millimeter, it's 0.07.
And you
That's going to be 0.42. It would be 0.21 when you put it in. And then if you go with their number 2, it changes to 0.09 and 1 ohm per wrap. And you can tell this is definitely more mouth to lung, but it could work in this tank as well.
Right, 2.5 millimeter 5 wrap comes out at what, 0.55?
Yeah. So it would be like a 0.22
Yeah, so that's single cause will be like
for parallel.
it's dual. You'll half it.
Because you don't want a whole lot of heat building up in this little tank.
Good.
How does this...
Welcome to Victor Altec. Victor Altec is in the room, folks.
Hello, welcome. Both of these I think would work in here.
Oh God, I'm just getting comfortable a bit. I need to get a new chair. This thing's like past its sell-by date. It's not very comfortable.
Chairs make an awful lot of difference, and you'd be surprised when you go to buy an office chair. They literally have specifications on those chairs. If you look closely, you go to like Staples or something or an office supply store, they have specifications for how many hours that chair was designed to be in. You know, so if you're an office manager, like my wife, where she's most of the time out on the floor, but also spends time in the office, and you only need to be there 4 hours, you know, average per day in the chair. It's a completely different feel than, you know, like an executive's chair that is designed to be sat in 10, 12 hours a day, every day.
Oh, no doubt. This one, I mean, God, this one must be, freaking hell, must be nearly 20-year-old now, I think. It's creaky, it's old. It's not like a recliner or nothing, it's just it's nothing great. It's just something very basic that doesn't take up a lot of space, unfortunately. But that's just...
Well, here's the problem with my disorganization.
I like them, Dave. Have you seen them tables that can lift up and down? You just press a button and just go.
Yes,
just stand it.
those are fantastic.
That looks awesome, that. But bloody expensive, though. Jesus Christ.
Here's that Dovpo one I was telling you about. Those are all, I think, too fancy.
Aha.
Aliens, frame staples.
Oh, yeah.
Comes with the
They don't actually look...
pre-cut Muji cotton pads. And then here's some juggernauts.
They don't look that bad, actually. You get cotton and all, eh? It's cool. I did have some juggernauts.
Canthol wrapped in nichrome.
If you was clapping that with them, we're gone, canny. Wait, I drop a couple of them.
Those look okay.
They look half decent. Might be alright. You gotta remember, you know, like Canthol was, you know, what everybody used in the day. You know what I mean? It was none of this fancy white.
Well, it's still wrapped in nichrome.
Yeah. They look half.
Looking at the lead length, lead size.
They don't look.
You can definitely tell this Dovpo BP Mods brand, I think, is a better quality nichrome than this Geek Vape nichrome.
Oh, aye.
This has dull, and see the pitted marks on it?
Yeah. You haven't had them sitting for 4 years, though, have you?
No. Those are about 2-year-old. I picked them up in local vape shops, so maybe it is 4 years old. I don't know how long it was sitting on their shelf before I bought it. But this is something that every vapor should own. The tool, DIY tool, help you wrap your coils.
Yeah, the Coil Master.
And I think this kit was only like 14 quid. Vape shop would sell them for like 20 maybe.
I've got like the slightly bigger one where you got all the screwdrivers and the tweezers and all that in with it as well. Like a big...
Yeah, I got the bigger one too. But unfortunately, like I said, I'm missing the end wrap.
Your ceramic tweezers are shot, like they are. The ends have snapped off them. I think that's just happens to all of them eventually. Screwdrivers are well worn. Yeah, I've had a good use of it. I mean, I've probably had it about, what, 4 or 5 years, if not more.
And there's the 3mm. That's what I needed out of here.
3mm.
And the screw is missing from the end of that.
How come everything you've got still wrapped up and brand new?
Listen, I was buying for the Vape Apocalypse when I wasn't ever going to be able to get my hands on this ever again.
You pretty much have, haven't you? I'm going to buy everything, put it in the cupboard.
I wanted to make sure that I was never going to go back to smoking.
That's true.
And here's a brand new one, and it doesn't come with the thing either. That's all right.
Still use it with the one screw. I think I can. Look at that, man. There's another mark. Mine's all chewed up. Look at everything new.
I don't even think the Coil Master's still around, are they?
I'm not sure. I think they are, you know. I think
They made a ton of tools.
I think we still get some of that gear, like.
This is my go bag. Also made by Coil Master.
Awesome. We have.
And it's nice because you can keep your stuff organized.
See. We have Michael Redfern in the house, guys. Michael Redfern has joined us.
Hey, Michael, welcome. Here on the lunch break, I imagine.
Look at that, man. Everything's still wrapped up. Fuck it hell. I'll tell you what it is. We'll have to start mail ordering off you.
I don't have a store. I'm sorry.
You as well have. Oh my God. Anybody know anybody that might have some spare tweezers? I think I know where you might be able to get some. Holy moly.
Look how fine this Clapton is.
Holy shit.
That's 40 gauge. That's why I give builders so much credit.
Oh God, I look at that, man. Jesus. 40. Have you ever tried building your own coils like with the drill, lad? Have you ever tried it?
Well, I built it with the Dia Dallas.
I've actually tried with.
I bought the vise and, you know, I could set it up to do it. I would eventually like to take this desk and rotate it 90 degrees and then just put a table behind me for all the flavors. Because then that way on the right-hand side, I could literally have the vise and I could have a drill set up and be able to do that kind of stuff as well. You know, having a work area.
I've done it a couple of times with the drill and hit y miss. Some were good, some were bad. And some were really bad. Majority of it ended in the bin.
Yeah?
Oh, I think I just lost my patience kind of like ran out a bit on some of them.
Well, even wrapping your own coils is a pain sometimes.
Oh God.
There's some days that I can get this and it just, they crank out right. And then other times like today, it just turned into a big mess.
Guns all over.
But like you said, you know, it's about sometimes just getting it on camera and it's like guaranteed to failure. Just put the camera in front of you.
I find sticking it through the actual holes easier. That's just my method.
Just manually wrap it.
When in doubt.
Oh yeah, 5 more.
5-ish there, isn't it? Yeah.
There you go.
See, I'm left-handed. I do it the other way around. I do it the other way. You doing it that way looks so odd to me because I'll do it the opposite way because I'm left-handed. It looks so like wrong. Weird. It's like you say, you probably wrap loads of them with your eyes shut, no problem, tons and tons of time, and then as soon as you go on camera, it just all gets pear-shaped. It's normally the case, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've already bungled this end.
Wow. You're making hard work of that one, mate. It's salvageable though. You can salvage that, man.
Not too shabby. It's not perfect. I could get another piece of wire and be a cheapskate, but I think once I put some heat to it, I think it'll be fine.
It's salvageable, man.
Plus, this isn't like planning to be my all-day vape. I don't know. Maybe it's good enough to be one.
You never know. What you don't get any of them ends on the floor. You don't want them sticking your toe when you stand on them. Not good.
Well, that's called my anti-theft device. Coat the floor in little pricklies and nobody's going to bother your stuff.
No. Lego's a good one as well, like, I suppose.
All right, so we got a nice one and then we got a crappy one. But once the heat goes to this, I think it'll straighten out just fine.
Bit of pinch in it on it. Close it up.
How's the spacing wise?
Yeah. Or spacing, whatever. It would work.
Will I need to space them? Or is 6 wraps going to fit?
That is the question. Mightn't be too far away. Not a million miles away.
That's the only problem about these ones. You have to clip them before you work on the next one.
Yeah. I don't miss that. I do not miss that at all.
There's our bungled one. As she goes flying away.
It'll be good, man. It'll turn out good. That's the only thing, like, that the memories is coming down now. It can be a bit of a pain in the arse to build on, but, you know.
This is why I have a black mat, so that I can find these things when they fall off of there.
Oh, God, I need to be careful. You didn't take a see getting on the floor. You've had it. Some more there. Max.
Well, that's what the box is for, didn't you know? The magnets that they put in this?
Yeah.
To help you clean up.
Awesome, man. There you go. Got it all.
All right.
I think
Let me clean this up, move stuff around so that you guys can see what I'm doing.
the only thing is, though, you'd be knackered with stainless steel with the magnet.
Yeah, you won't get it with the stainless steel. Although it's a good way to find out that some of the stainless steel you got stuff isn't really stainless steel.
It's got shade in it. Surprised what they mix in with them, man.
All right. This is the pain in the ass part about these decks.
It's fiddly. Very fiddly. Very fiddly diddly. That's it, bro.
But once you get the first one in,
A finger either side, we can get a little nip on it and treat them about. It is a fiddly deck, like I can remember that now. It's a bit of a faff on, but I think once you get it done, the rewards are pretty quite rewarding. That's shall we say.
push it in a little bit more with my thumb. It's all right.
Ian Thomas may not be pretty, but you don't look at the face when you're stoking the fire. It'll vape just fine. Also points out that Ni80 and stainless are not magnetic unless it's SS430, which is magnetic. There you go, a little bit of education from Ian. Ooh. And them hot spots at.
Got a wazoo of them.
I think you might have to play the guitar, give it a strum.
Yeah.
It's starting to come now. It's there you go, we're getting there.
Now the question is, what do we do with these airflows? Which one are we going to pick from?
I'll go bottom.
When you pick,
I'll go bottom.
this is the one that was on there. So how does the air, there's an outer chamber. So it looks like some of the airflow comes out here and some of the airflow comes out there. So when you put this on, it's only from the bottom.
Yeah. The only thing you've got to be careful for as well is when you put your wick in and none of your wicks catch any threads. It'll lock it.
Look how small the wicking channels are, though.
Oh,
That's pretty narrow.
it is. They were big for the day.
I think some days I would lose my head if it wasn't attached to my neck.
Oh, God, days like that, but without a doubt. I'll probably be more frequent than you. You get a bit dark here or what? Hang on, I need a bit of light here. Hang on. There you go. Better, isn't it? Been in the
So there we have honeycomb.
pretty dark. There you go. Better.
And then we have a fanned airflow. Well, I know how good the fanned airflow is in the Arbiter, so I'm going to give that a shot. Try that out.
Oh, why not?
Cotton.
Get it wicked up and get it on. I don't think is that juice well very deep? No, I don't think it's that deep, is it? You may just need a short piece of cotton.
It's a tank. But as far as the depth after the bottom of the deck,
Yeah.
you can tell that the drill went down there. The advantage of shoelace cotton.
When it works.
Well, when you twist your own wires, you know that they're going to be 3mm. The commercial stuff, sometimes it's supposed to be 3mm, but it's only like 2.8.
Yeah, it's not quite there.
Because I think when they make them, they expect them to relax a certain amount.
Yeah. I could always wrap it around the end of the shoelace.
And that's why I like this stuff here, because the shoelace on this literally slides out. So if you just need a hair more, you can literally pull this off, twist this a little bit, give it a little, moistening, and give it a twist, and it'll slide through.
Yeah.
If the shoelace is the only part that's preventing you from being able to slide it through, sometimes that extra,
Yeah.
I don't even know what the thinness of that would be.
The thickness of it, yeah.
0.02 millimeters, maybe?
If that. But you're on the home straight now, man. The home straight. It doesn't look like there's a lot of room in there, does it? When you think about it.
I don't know, all the times that I was watching other people, do build streams when I first got started vaping,
Yeah.
I don't recall a whole lot of people being too finicky with their wicking.
No,
I know a lot of people used to just literally just cut it and shove it down in there
drop it in, yeah.
and only worry about it if you have a problem. But then at that point, you've got everything soaking wet. You got to tear it all apart.
Well, there's that, like, man.
There's still some here that are in clumps.
Bit of under tickle, as Mike Vape would say. A bit of under tickle there.
A little under tickle action ready for you.
There you go, a bit of under tickle action.
keep placing it in. We're getting a little tight in there now.
Might have them a little long.
I don't want to choke it.
Do you think about the things we used to do? No, you couldn't stand tall. So why didn't you call?
Could be a little long, mate.
That's thinned out pretty good there.
You all the time. Looks like you're changing and all. But why didn't you
I think with that kind of deck, you just want them poking at the bottom, if I remember correctly.
Just poking through.
That's right.
And as you can see, there's barely any really sticking out there. Certainly not touching the deck. Like on the Arbiters, I'll let them touch the deck the whole way. Not even worry about it.
It's sticking under there, like from the side, yeah. You've got a bit sticking through there. I mean, some guys used to just like use the dam method, you know, just sitting on top.
Yeah, Vic's good for that.
Yeah.
There's a lot. That's his solution to a lot of the issues with some of these tanks.
Some of the older tanks were a bit more forgiving, like, as well. So, you like, you know what I mean? Some of them, you could pack it a little bit tighter, but it would still vape reasonably well.
Well, I know that there's plenty of room for these tweezers to slide back and forth.
Yeah.
And I know the cotton's going to expand. So I think we've achieved a beautiful...
That looks okay.
What am I going to put on this thing?
Oh. That is the question, eh?
Peach tea or grape?
Dusty County Road said you make it look so easy, like a work of art.
The first thing I recommend you do is get yourself a good pair of pointy tweezers.
Yep. But be careful because they're sharp as well.
Yeah, these are needle point sharp on the ends. But using this works very good as an effective comb. Trying to comb out with ceramic tweezers,
Just rip out.
not so much.
The amount of pinholes I've had
I love these
off them is unbelievable.
But you learn the feel, you know, once you get it in, first off, getting it into the slot is one thing, but you'll know afterwards, if there's enough room for you to slide this around,
Yeah, you're okay.
you know, you've got it loose enough that it won't choke off inside there.
You're good to go.
There is a good height to this thing that those wicks need to pull the juice up from.
Well, it's a velocity deck, isn't it?
Yeah. So what do we got here? Michael Redfern says tea. Dusty Country Road said grape.
Tea.
Is that your vote?
Cup of tea? Yeah.
Okay.
Have a bit of English tea, sir.
I'm afraid peach is not an English tea.
No, it's not.
Very peachy.
Very peachy, yeah?
Just peach sweet tea from the taste of it.
My daughter loves that peach tea. Absolutely loves it.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely not enough power at 50 watts, though. I'll tell you that. Get some spitting going on here.
What they're coming out at, like?
Well, they're 0.22 now. They were 0.15 or 0.17 earlier.
0.22.
And we're going to use Bruce Pro's BP Mods technique of painting your wicks to make sure that they're nice and straight going down in.
Right.
So we got a little hump here.
0.22. Calculate. Whoa. My trusty watt calculator at 0.22 is going with a cool vape at 58.9 watts, a vapor vape at 69.6 watts, and a warm vape at 80.2 watts. Make of that
So
one.
here's our fanned airflow design. You can see that the center has full amount of airflow and then it tapers away from the bottom of the coil. And then obviously you have under airflow as well.
There you go.
Make sure we have our O-rings on top and on bottom. Interesting that they don't have the seals only on the inside. There's nothing on this edge, this lip.
No. Hallelujah. My apologies. My phone's finally finished updating. It's a software update. Been pretty much doing it all day. Oh,
What has?
my phone
Chrome.
been doing an
Oh, your phone.
update system,
Yeah, they just released a security update for ours.
and it's installed about 3 updates, and it's practically been going all bloody day. It's been really slow. I don't know what the improvements will be, like, because you never really notice anything, but there you go.
The font changed on my last phone update, and man, it is so much clearer to see.
Hey, God.
Mark Robinson, hello and welcome.
Hey, Mark. I'm videoing us.
Victor Altek, Michael Redfern, and Mark Robinson.
Yeah, 430 SS is magnetic, Mark. It is. You're so correct.
Sorry, folks, I'm going for the matchy-matchy.
Oh, you're going for the matchy, are you? I don't know. That hasn't really changed that much by the looks of it. Probably something in the background. Probably it's updated more than anything else. Oh, very nice.
Got the Aegis Max to pair up with this Creed.
Yummy. Oh, it's bloody jet.
Going all in.
Going for it, buddy.
Filling it up the whole way. Those threads are dry.
Just be careful not to over tighten it because you'll never get it off.
Yeah, especially as thin as this one is.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oops, my apologies. I'm smoking more out. Holy shit. I don't think you're that impressed with that one, mate.
Dry Hit City.
Try it, Sydney. Oh, no.
I thought I saturated them pretty well.
Not good dry hits. No, no, no.
45. 52.
He's very cautiously cranking that up. He's doing it very cautiously.
53. 55. I'm starting to get some peach, some sweetness.
Dusty County Roll.
We're only at 2.2 volts.
Dusty County Roll. Lol. What a face. Guess it's not a smooth vape.
That first one wasn't, let me tell you. $65, we're starting to wake up the flavors. I'm getting the tea.
I said 69 was the middle. The little what calculator? I should just put it back on again. 0.22 on it.
Well, here's part of the issue. I don't know how accurate this is. It says the coils are 0.09.
Whoa.
So if it thinks it's 0.09 and it's trying to crank 65 watts through it, that's a big difference from a 0.2.
0.09.
Here's the funny part, though. I'm getting 0.21 here.
Nice. Well. If you were 0.22, there's a suggestion 69.6 watts is about middle of the road.
0.22.
At 0.22.
That's what the problem was. You read the coil wrong. It's saying 0.22 now.
It reckons a cool vape is 58.9. Your middle of the road is 69.6. And if you want a warm vape, it's going 80.2. Right up there, if you want to see that. There you go. But that is not gospel, guys. Just, you know, it's just a guide.
Pretty damn accurate. $76 is too much.
Yeah.
Starting to lose flavor. Wow. That is a beautiful peach tea. 67 watt?
67, yeah. That's not far off. I said, the lap said 69-ish, so yeah, wasn't far away.
And I typically fall right below the middle of the road.
Yeah.
That's the best flavor for me. It's not like a really warm vape. It's a cooler, it's on the cooler side of it. It's not cold.
No.
But I'm getting all that flavor. Holy cow, is that a peach tea? They were bang on with that description on this one.
Looks like you said, once you get that tank running good, it's not a bad tank.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
The airflow is a little, it's not whistly, but you can definitely hear that air moving through those 3 openings on the bottom.
I wanted to escape for a while. Not that a couple of days,
Delicious.
2 weeks straight. To get myself back in the game.
There you go.
And these clouds are just, oh,
Peach tea on the creed. What can you say?
wow.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic choice. I'm so glad we picked that up and used that today. Oh. And it's definitely overcome the dry hit that I originally got.
It just could be down to user error.
Not waiting for that liquid to saturate the bottom of the wicks that were sticking through the deck. I coated the top, and I even talked about how long the leads are.
Exactly.
I didn't give it enough of a chance to fully saturate that wick. Even painting the wicks down didn't get the bottom to saturate with liquid.
Top done, but it was just that bottom. Just for the juice to get in and soak up it.
If I were to, try to improve this tank, I would make the well for your wicks a little bit wider.
Yeah.
Even if you just go a millimeter on both ends of that kidney shape, man, you know how much more cotton you could get in there?
Oh, aye. Right, let's have a look.
Helheim. Have you gotten the Helheim or heard anybody or known anybody that's got it?
Dusty County has one. He did say he had a dry hit on it a little while ago, but he re-wicked it, and next it says a smooth vape. Mark Robbins says he's heard good reviews on the Helheim, but he doesn't have one. I've heard some good stuff behind them. Ooh.
Dusty Country Road says that he likes it better than the Arbiter 2. Very smooth. No, I mean, if it is, it is. That's why I said I prefer the original Arbiter.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I have the Arbiter 2 here. This is what it looks like after my wife finally says it's time to hand it over to get rewicked.
Oh, you've got some putrid coils over. Oh dear.
And when I pulled the cotton out, the cotton looked perfect. There was just a light brown
In the middle.
from the cotton that was in the center of this. But look how crusty those coils are.
Oh yes. Hey, well used. That's what you want. Lance
Clean
Ward
this
is
sucker off.
Lance Ward is on the hog V3 with 4 Samsung 30Ts in and 0.35 coils. He's vaping strawberries and cream. Very nice. Coyle is asking Lance what he's got. He's on top of his hog. What at is he running?
Mark Robinson has a couple of Arbiter 2s.
Ooh.
So you saw we gave it one dry burn there, got them to glow. That literally burned off the crust that's on this. I'll give it one more glow like this. Now it's time for me to take this into the bathroom. I have a toothbrush that is specifically dedicated to cleaning these coils off. And then I will give this a nice good scrubbing. And that's the one thing I don't like about the Arbiter 2 is that this center chimney piece is attached inside there. When they fitted the O-ring, They literally made it so it didn't come out. Because people were complaining that in the original Arbiter that I have here.
The chimney doesn't come out that much, does it? Does it come out? No, it doesn't, does it?
Yeah. The chimney comes out. They used a much smaller O-ring in it. And I like that because then I can take the chimney out and I can literally clean it.
Yeah.
With the toothbrush. I can literally get into the nooks and crannies and clean all that gunk out of there. Interesting how this isn't really a domed cap, though.
No, it's pretty flat.
I mean, you're kind of limited in the space.
Yeah.
Whereas the Arbiter 2 is much more domed and rounded.
Yeah. It looks like it comes out, right? But I mean...
Well, it obviously would eventually come out. The thing is, they put a bigger O-ring in it, and there's a bigger channel. So once they originally slipped that in there, it holds itself in there.
Tight.
You would really have to play with it to try and get it out. And you could probably get a pick in on the side here, on both sides, and yank it out if you really wanted to. But
maybe get some long nose pliers in there either side of it and just ease it out.
What I'll do with this one is I will take the sink and I'll fill it up with hot water and I'll leave it sit in there. I'll come back in an hour or so when the water's cooled off a little bit. And then I'll take my toothbrush in there and just clean it out before I put it back together. And then obviously just rewick it.
It's as good as out.
We'll see what these look like after I clean it. If they look like the one that I just pulled out of here, then they'll get reused. Because this one looked exactly like that before I cleaned it.
Right.
But after I brushed it with the toothbrush, this is what they look like.
Oh, come on.
Nice blue sheen to them.
Yeah, come on, all right.
When they get to looking like this after you brush them, it's definitely time for new coils. These coils are definitely shot. You sacrifice a lot of flavor if you try and keep reusing coils that are this bad.
Oh, God. The dull and everything as well, aren't they?
But that way, you know, everybody gets to see what these coils look like and at what point, you know, you can change them every single time if you really wanted to. But I don't see the point.
No.
When you get the coils clean enough that they look like you just dry burned them the first time, I'm going to keep using them. So that is pretty much it. The only thing we didn't do today is a random recipe. What else?
Lance Ward said the shop near me said 0.35 is too low for the Hog V3 with 4 Samsung 30Ts. I normally go round about there myself. Maybe it's between 0.35 and 0.45 is probably where I'm sitting on the Hog. Plus you need series coils as well. You've got to make sure you've got the right coils.
Who makes the Hog?
Oh, it's oh, come on.
Hammer of God?
Hammer
of God is Hog.
It's the Hammer of God, but who's the bloody company that makes it again? Oh God, it's gonna be heat.
Vapor's Cloud.
Vapor's Cloud, that's it. Alright, Hog. Cracking.
I've never actually seen a real one. The one shop I used to visit in Ohio, Brick City Vapors, had some of the counterfeit ones, and they didn't try and sell them off as real ones. They specifically told you when you bought them, listen, that's why these are so cheap, is because they're knockoffs. But If you know what you're getting, I mean, that's your choice on whether to get them or not.
It's,
$185 is the retail price.
I paid £200 for my hog fork. Which is
What tank does he have on it? I didn't see that.
I don't think he said. I've got the Valhalla on mine, 38 mil. Hang on.
You're in Titan territory. Yeah, I love my Steam Crave Titan. Unfortunately, I can't tell you the last time that I actually used it because I've been dealing with all these other little things and these new ones that I've got in for review. Put some new coils in them. They're 3 months old. I've got one that lasted me almost a year before I was like, nah, these are just not good enough to replace them. It also depends. When you go to dry burn them, only get them hot enough to see the glow. As soon as you see the glow, stop, firing them. If you fire them too long, you could literally take some of those Clapton coils on the outside and fuse them together, and then you'll get spaces and gaps. And then that's a place for the e-liquid when it's being vaporized to start building up faster than it normally would. And you can tell based on the flavor too. If you go and you put new wick in something and you go to it and you don't get as much flavor as you're expecting to get, it might be a sign that your coils are in need of replacement.
I'll be with you in a moment. I'm right here.
Wow, that is surprisingly good. How old is this tank? When did it come out?
Right. I am very unprofessional tonight, aren't I? I'm terrible.
2018 is the creed.
Yeah. And I'm good up.
Jay Hayes and Rip Trippers did it.
I've got 4 molly cells here. I'll put them in. I don't even know what's in this. I was using it a couple of days ago because obviously I sometimes just like, get them down and give them a wash and a brush up and keep them clean-ish now. This thing is a monster and I'll probably end up coughing me insides of me lungs up all over on this, perhaps. It's been, I don't think these coils are very hot. I'll just double check, see what I've got in here. The only thing with these Valhallas, right, the O-rings are absolutely solid on them. They're very tight. The tolerance, that was the one thing with these, the tolerance was too tight on them. But
Did you lube them up with some
well,
liquid?
the problem with them, I'll see what the problem is, right? You see the air holes. Can you see them air holes? There's lots of little air holes there, right? You just see them there on this side of the tank. There's all them little air holes, right? They're sharp inside, and they actually chew the O-ring up on the inside. That's what the big problem was with them. This has got some series coils in. I think they're thinking 10, 12 wraps on them.
Wow.
Oh, the biggies. All right. Oh God, yeah, that's hot. It's been a while. This thing,
Wow.
fog machine, it's nuts. Yeah. It's mad. Believe it or not, the flavour is not too bad of it either for being such a huge RDA. I think I could probably do a re-wigging like now because it's I don't even know what flavour I've had in there before. But
Listen, this is about the only thing I got that can actually come close to that, okay?
my God, it's been a while. Jesus.
Now, all kidding aside, though, I love the Titan with their dual series mesh
Yeah.
because it doesn't get that hot. And you can literally chuck more clouds than you can imagine being able to chuck
That's really tight.
without it getting too hot.
Oh, the Titan. I love the Titan. I've got one of them. It's awesome. I've had done here. Titan. Speaking of which, this top cap is a Titan and all. It's very tight. I don't know what's going on with that. That's it. We're getting there now. I'm getting used to it now. Bit of lubrication on the throat, perhaps.
Yes. If I didn't have to finish, the details on the news and finish these other two things I've been doing a review on, I'd be drinking with you today. I'd be day drinking.
I'm just having the one. I mean, it's just a cool one.
Yeah, but it's your evening. I mean, that's expected. For me, it's noon.
Yeah.
Might not be a good example to set, starting day drinking. My age.
Them days for me are long gone now. I couldn't handle it anymore. I think if I actually went to a bar or whatever during the day, I'd probably be in bed by about 6 p.m. and you wouldn't see us till the next day, basically. It's as simple as that. I just can't do it anymore.
All right, let me try this airflow a little bit. Cut that down halfway, see what it does.
Vance, I think this is the this is the first one that came out. This is the 38 mil. I've got them both together at the same time. So this will be the V1. The V1, this one. What was that?
Cutting the airflow down halfway on this Creed really cranks up the flavor.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Why is that so tight?
Man, I'd love one of these days to be able to go to an actual vape convention. We could all be sitting there eating lunch together, chucking our clouds.
I don't know if you could see it, but look at that. You take the drip tip out of this, and that's the hole. You can literally pour your juice in that hole. That's one big hole. The bore is huge on it.
Wonder what the diameter is on that.
I haven't got my vernier handy and I'm not getting up again.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
One of these days, I'd like to get a set of calipers that are just for vaping stuff that I haven't used in the garage.
Well, me being
Machinist.
was in the engineering, I've still got a lot of me measuring gear all stored, and I've actually got proper bore mics, so I can get it down to the, whenever you want, any microns I can get it down to. They're all stored in the garage, like a full set from like They go up in 25s, they go 0 to 25, 25 to 15, and I think mine go all the way up to about 200 millimeter, all the way up to there, the set I've got. So they just sit in the garage, gathering dust. They're probably worth a fortune.
Yeah, listen, if the prohibition keeps going the way it is, I'm going to have to go out and buy myself a little milling machine and a lathe so I can start getting in the business and making my own.
That was my gripe, you see. I have paid a lot of people off about this, as I'm thinking, a tube mech mod is what it is. It's a tube. I could make them for fun on a lathe. Absolutely, that's what I am by trade. I'm a turner. I could churn them out for fun. Pretty much.
Yep. The hard part would be milling the actual components for the switch.
Yeah, when you look at a lot of them, they're simple. They're either a square or a ball. You know what I mean? You could actually probably do a ball on a lathe. Much simpler.
Yeah.
Just make constant contact.
Yeah, I've actually looked at the little milling machine that they sell at Harbor Freight.
That's an idea. Heed vaping product. The Heed mech. Ooh, the Heed banger. That's what we call it. The Heed.
Yeah. For sure.
Oh, but it's something I've always would, even though you get tired of it, actually working for somebody, but if you had your own little machining centre yourself to do your own things on, I think it'd be much more fun and much more interesting, without a doubt. Yeah.
I used to love, working on the lathe with wood, but my allergies got the best of me, and I was just I can't do woodworking anymore.
Yes.
I got tired of always having to take, multiple allergy pills throughout the day just so I can go in the shop to, turn the legs for a chair.
I mean, I've still got bits of CAD/CAM software where I could easily write the program up and all that stuff ready, I still remember how to do it, basically,
Like riding a bicycle.
Yeah, once you get your program in, that's it, you're away, aren't you? Does everything for you.
Yeah.
Get your tooling right and away you go.
Something else that I also included in the news, Geek Vape had a presentation that they put on about the technology of vaping and the different tests that they do to even come up with a design for something nowadays. I mean, they literally have professional scientists, per se, that are mechanical engineers that literally have written software so that they can test the airflow and know exactly in the whole device what the pressures are. And that's how they overcame the whole bottom airflow, top airflow argument, is they mapped the airflow from the bottom airflow, and they mapped the airflow from their latest tank that they put out, and they have identical pressures throughout the tank, throughout the chambers.
That's right. It's not just a case of a hole where you suck air in. There's pressures inside. There's a lot of science behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they literally iron and tweak those out before they make a single test prototype.
I mean, theoretically, gravity should just make that drop and piss out wherever. It should just do it. But because of the pressures inside, it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? As well as when you draw the air in.
Yeah, and the diameter and the thickness even of the material that they use for the center portion that keeps the liquid from the center portion that we breathe in, that matters. And the differences of, even half a millimeter in diameter results in total change in the pressure.
Also the cooling, if it's really thick, it could be cool, make it cool. If it's thin, it could get very hot, there's all sorts involved. It's clever stuff. Really clever.
Yeah, thermodynamics, to calculate, how many drags of this can you chain vape before you start retaining that heat and building it up and then changing the viscosity of the fluid, and then
there's a lot of science behind it. Everybody thinks it just looks simple and just something with this. There's a lot of science.
There's a lot of technology that went into developing things to make them as good as they are today, where they can literally throw something together this small and produce as much flavor as this little tiny thing does.
Yeah.
But now that they have this technology, they can scale this to any size you want. You can go from the Hammer of God, you can go all the way down to a little disposable and guarantee fantastic flavor for the customers.
It's, like I said to you before, the mesh coils changed everything, didn't it? That was a massive game changer. big style.
Yeah, because with the mesh, you have an equal distribution of cooling to heating element.
Yeah.
That's what changed. That was the big game
I
changer.
think that's what think now that fan airflow. I think that was the thing behind the design of that, because you know yourself, the center of your coil is the hottest part all the time, and I think with the fan design, it cooled the center, but also like cooled the ends as well, type of thing. It was the way the
But it was
design
proportional to the amount of heat that coil generates.
That's right, yeah. So obviously the bigger holes are in the middle where it's hotter, and obviously the smaller holes where it's cooler.
And that's what they were going for with the Arbiter 2. Going from the Arbiter 1, yeah, they had a massive chunk of airflow in the middle. The middle of the coil is totally free for airflow, but the outer portions only had a little bit. So by coming up with the Arbiter 2, they literally added a subdivision between the center portion and the ends.
Right, yeah.
And then that is supposed to be more accurate in cooling the coil evenly.
That's right, yeah.
Based on how much heat it makes.
Just clever stuff, man. Honestly, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah. But see, the thing is, when you talk to a non-vapor, they have no comprehension of that. They literally think it's a coil that heats up like a heating element in their furnace. And it's all, 200 degrees Celsius or whatever the temperature that it's set to. And see, that's the problem with some of these scientists too. If they're not into the whole technology and how it works, when they build these tests that they do the experiments on, there's more ways to fail that experiment than there is to actually get it right.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, plus, there's massive safety issues. They've got to be safe at the end of the day as well, you know what I mean? Simple as that.
It's not like a cigarette, where they can hook it up to a machine that takes a known tidal volume and they run their test. It doesn't work that way with these things. We don't breathe like that. And the normal human doesn't use a device like that like a machine does, where you have a constant suction for a certain amount of volume and then it just stops dead.
Plus, everybody's got a different strength on the pull, I mean, look at Bogan. Christ, he inhales for about 20 seconds. That man, he got off.
But that's the reason why his tanks are so tight on the airflow. He needs that resistance to be able to take such a long drag.
That's right, aye.
Hand him that hammer of God and ask him to take a 20-second drag.
Oh, probably.
He won't be able to do it.
No.
Nobody can do it.
I wouldn't even like to try. You'd probably actually run out of breath. You'd be like,
Plus, at that point, with all of that vapor inside your lungs, it would be like you're displacing oxygen with that vapor.
probably just pass out. Lack of oxygen. You just keel over, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's like when you hyperventilate into a bag.
That's probably. I mean, I think like likes of these. I mean, I'll rate them good for flavor, but they're designed for one thing, and that's just to chuck friggin' fog. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's basically what they're designed to do.
Yep. But I definitely am grateful for Honlik inventing this. And this is a far cry from what Honlik invented with his ultrasonic heating coils. Using, plain old electricity, amperage and resistance and mesh technology. And
I mean, when you think about the formula, it's never really changed, has it? For calculating your voltage and amps, it's been around, since
it's Ohm's law.
Industrial, the industrial revolution type of thing, isn't it? If not before.
That's what they use to calculate all the components that go into your phone.
Yeah.
Same technology, different application.
It's awesome, man.
Fantastic. Well, been in 3 hours. I don't think we're going to do a random recipe today, despite what the description says.
I'm just looking at Lance's commendations. I'm doing the same. Making clouds, can hardly see the computer. Oh, dear me. Awesome.
Coyle says he used to have a little drill-powered lathe. to make Ultim and PTC top caps.
Yeah.
I thought about doing that. My wife was doing a lot of epoxy stuff for her crafting. And I thought about, making molds so that I can make my own drip tips and whatnot. But it's like,
I've seen a couple of people who do it. Like they're all right. Like do a good job.
but for me, I looked at it and I'm like, how many drip tips do you really need?
Well, this is it. I mean, I'm not really a fussy one with drip tips. I mean, I'm not really bothered with matching or fancy colour, as long as it does the job. That's basically where I'm at with them. I'm not really, out of the way of, like, I need a drip tip to go on that to match that or whatever. It doesn't bother us. The drip tip's a drip tip at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
And realistically, we don't need them to be drip tips anymore because you're not really dripping anything back onto the coil.
Exactly. So
it's not like they have screens in them, that prevent the spattering of fluids. We've gotten to the point now where we can put the right coils in there and know that we're going to create an ultra fine atomization of the liquid.
Exactly.
Drip tips don't really serve much of a purpose anymore other than decorative and mouthfeel.
That's it. They're basically something to put your gob on, so you don't get, like, especially with that. I mean, you don't get burnt.
Well, see, that was the thing with my wife, when she pulled this out of her purse and it was missing the drip tip. And I left my stuff up here the one day. I went downstairs for dinner and I'm like, give me that thing. It's like, it doesn't have a drip tip. I'm like, I don't care.
You can still have a couple of chumps of it, but we'll get one eventually.
Yeah, but that was a nice thing about the Arbiter too, is they have enough metal on this top portion between the airflow, and they have that reservoir in there for air.
Yeah, all right.
So that you don't overfill it, and there's always, some air to compress when you put the cap on. That I was never worried about this getting too hot.
But probably with RTs now, probably not, but with an RD, well, definitely.
Now, like with this Creed, as thin as this cap is, I'd be worried about this thing heating up.
Yeah. It's quite
As
surprising.
thin as that top is.
It's quite surprising. I don't think it'll get that warmer, if I remember correctly. I'm sure I had one somewhere. I need to go through my stuff and sort it. Even though I've got stuff lying all over. I need to have a sort out.
Wow, that is beautiful. Telling you, they got it nailed. All right, 3 hours. I think it's time for us to wrap this thing up for today. I want to thank every one of you guys for coming out.
3 hours.
Beautiful live stream today. A lot of exciting stuff. I really love this Geek Vape Creed. It was a fantastic thing. That peach tea is beautiful. I think we learned a little bit of something. I know what to do next for my watermelon cotton candy. So I'll have that built and put together for next week before we can say that we've actually got a good banging juice that meets the description of it.
Exactly.
So my wish is always peace, love, and a hunky vape to all of you out there. And once again, I'm going to leave Kenny. Leave with the outro.
Again, thank you, everybody in chat. You make this show. It's an absolute pleasure to see you all in this week. We've had a good amount in this week and a few new faces as well, I believe. So again, thank you very much for joining us. Again, thanks Alex for putting up with me as usual. And I'll just round this off, guys. Same place, same time next week. Be there or be square, as they say. Take care, everyone.
Have a great day.
could hear my father's voice. He would tell me to move on. He would say I'll be just fine. Yeah, he would tell me we have time, time to laugh and time to heal. Our favorite song is on repeat. Drinking wine